Video settings.
अब एक बार बोलूँगा, आप जो बैठे ना, अपनी फोटो कहाँ लिया?
Background and filter recording is set.
इस पे लाइट कर।
आसिम भाई, you are ready?
मैं वही फोटो का कर रहा हूँ, नहीं आया तो फिर फोन से ज्वाइन करता हूँ। ये सिस्टम लगाया था मैं।
थोड़ा जल्दी करिए ना, because
फोन से join कर लेना better है।
You can just give the welcome speech, no? So you can just start it, and at
No.
least we can start the event.
he has to give welcome speech, Ravi. I had to
फोन से join
just
कर
no, shall I start, Ravi? Everybody on?
Most of the people are on. I am from Ambassador's office. Mrs. Reena came, so please we can start the event.
अरे नाम तो change करो, Ninja Spider के नाम से ऐड
आसिम
करें।
भाई, आप म्यूट कर सकते हैं 1 मिनट?
Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our open interaction with Dr. Viprasri. Now I would like to inform Mr. Jha, our Vice President, to have a small bouquet to Dr. Viprasri. Thank you, Jazab, and thank you, Viprasri. So let me introduce myself. I am Mr. Kondala Rajesh, President of Indian Social Club Sohar. And I will just want to brief you 2-3 things, not much. The program is it's a long way. Thank you, ma'am, for attending this our program. And
Thank you. Yeah.
yes, namaste, ma'am. And please inform the ambassador also that we want to see him next time on our event.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am. And sorry for that, because you are not in Sohar, so it's very difficult. So
No
we
problem
have,
at all. Yeah.
Sorry
We
for
all are
that.
doing virtually. Yeah, everything is going on.
PPT
No problem.
upload कर लो।
Thank you for your comment. So now I would like to inform Asim Bhai his video is working, and now Mr. Asim Bhai will come and give his welcome speech for this event. Asim Bhai, can you take from here? Ravi, unmute Asim Bhai, please.
Asim Bhai is not there.
Asim Bhai is there. He's on other phone. You can unmute him.
It's okay, Rajesh, now?
Yes, Asim Bhai, you can continue. Please give your welcome speech, please.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Rajesh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Warm welcome to Madam Reena Jain from Indian Embassy. Thank you, ma'am. On holiday
you.
day, you are attending this program
No
to
problem.
make our event more successful. And today, as you are all aware, we are having interaction with Dr. Viprasri, Senior Consultant in Star Hospital Sohar, on this pandemic issue, how to take care and how do we have to keep society and ourselves safe and secure, each and everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for attending. Thank you, Dr. Saab, for your precious time on Friday day to give us this interaction program. Thank you very much, all.
Now I request Reena Jain ji, please have few words towards our program and towards our social club.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dear friends, I'm delighted to join all of you today in this interactive session with Dr. Viprasri regarding the essentials on how to keep fit and maintain immunity during this COVID pandemic time. COVID pandemic has impacted all of us, either physically or mentally. And I think this today's learning, whatever we will take away from today's learning, will help in keeping ourselves in good health and it is good for all and for our loved ones also. Thank you so much. Over to Dr. Viprashri.
Okay. Yes. Hello. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure having a direct communication through Zoom and Facebook to all of my Suhar and Oman friends and colleagues through Indian Social Club. And I thank ma'am joining us and giving us support for this very important issues which is actually prevailing in our society. And we're really fighting with that. Since last 2 years, we are struggling with so many things. I just want to brief it out. Actually, it is a very vast subject to bring it to the knowledge to our society and the common people, which actually most of them are quite aware about this disease. And there are, I think sometimes they are more, bombarded with social media. And there are lots of confusion prevailing, and there are many things are there. So just to make it summarize, I will initiate with some smaller, in a very regular way that actually it is understandable and a common people also. It's not like a medical education which I am going to do. But meanwhile, to explain a little bit, I have to go inside and tell them there are differences of opinions, and there are many fallacies in management, and there are things which is not been taken care of because of the ignorance or because of the taking it lightly or easily. So the things are spreading very fast and we are not able to curb down. In different levels, government is doing their own work. People have to do their own work, and the doctors and all frontline managements are doing their hardship to curb down this vast spreading infection, which is really very difficult to control. So, but there are lots of hope, and we definitely know that it is going to be 70–80% is already under our, we have achieved, at least we have achieved in curing the patients and treating to a certain level. And we understood the pathophysiology of the disease. So it is where there is a gap. That gap we'll try to describe nicely, and we'll try to give you the data where is the gap and how we should overcome the gap. It is not only the role of the doctor, it is not the only role of the society or the government. It is our role. The patients should also understand, and this should also cooperate and help us to do everything properly. So let us start. First of all, I request everyone, it is joint effort. It is not an individual effort. Although we cannot join, we have to join only virtually because of the corona. We have to maintain a distance and safety measures. But still, don't get scared. And anyone can help. Anyone can do anything if they want with the proper mask and proper care. It is not like if the patient is quarantined, you leave it and don't bother about and get worried about. So this virus has already entered into the society. Government is waiting that there will be herd immunity, which I will describe you later. What is the herd immunity? And also, you should not get scared if you are getting infected. It's just a matter of days. You will get out of it if you will follow my steps, and if you follow the international guidelines. Definitely, it's not a big issue for them. But only for few people, like those who have comorbidity condition like diabetes, hypertension, or something like hypothyroid, a pregnant female, obese, there is some limitations, and we have limitation because of ICUs are not, ready for that, and we have less beds in ICU. We have no manpower, so that is why there is a panic situation existing everywhere, and that's why government is doing lots of lockdown. So let us start now. Actually, it is just giving the brief. World is really living in an edge. The human cost of COVID pandemic could be extraordinary, which already been explained by everyone knows it. So I am focusing on we just want to create a simple, cheap, and more accessible test for SARS-CoV. First of all, we have to diagnose the case. A diagnosis takes time, and you all know that RT-PCR is available everywhere, but most of the people are not willing to get that done. And that is another factor which really creating a problem. and what time it is most effective, that is very important to know. So if there is any symptoms, don't bother about, go and get it tested so that you can protect yourself early and you can protect others also. It's very important to get RT-PCR to be done at a very early stage. And you know, there are lots of development already there. More than 100 vaccines are coming up, but 6-7 vaccines which are already existing. And I will explain all the details about the vaccines also. So that you can understand what vaccine is going to help you and how it is going to help. It is really a challenge which vaccine is ideal, but we still, because this is the only vaccine which has come very fast. This is the first time that we have given approval, the government has given extra approval for the vaccines. Otherwise, most of the time they take 5 to 6 years to study. There is an urgent need for critical appraisal evidence, how to treat the patients. Actually, what I want to emphasize here, there is a lots of confusion all over the world. Many people are giving empirical treatment. They are giving some sort of medication. Probably you must be aware that even Government of India and all this medical forum has restricted using many antibiotics, which was initially used as like ivermectin, azithromycin, and many sorts of antibiotic was used and empirical treatment. Even hydroxychloroquine was initially, when Mr. President Donald Trump has highlighted it, it become like a big problem for even procuring the hydroxychloroquine, which is now, it is not indicated and it has been barred from using this. So we have many new drugs. Of course, there are certain drugs which is really difficult to procure, like remdesivir and favipiravir. These are two antiviral which has role, and of course it is very used at the right time by the doctor, then it is going to help a lot. What I want to emphasize here is if you understand the concept of the disease, it is a viral disease, and this virus has come from zoonotic. This means zoonotic means it has come from the organism, like bat was the first, and it has entered into the human cycle in China, and after that it has started spreading very fast. So this is a new type of virus, although similar virus was there and that has been cured, and Ebola virus, these are all of the same family, but this is little different. And this virus has got the capacity to grow very fast. Actually, in bat or some other zoonotic animal, it is not going fast because their body temperature is 50 degrees centigrade and above. Their metabolic rate are very fast. The bats has very fast, and we as a human, we normally have 36, 37 degree temperature. So they really grow very fast and they get adherent to the particular area of the body, which is very, they start helping. And it is an RNA virus, and it goes inside the cell and change the cell cycle also. So coming to the our one important slide, which I want to say a little bit, because it will describe, it is an animation which I really need to, so every one of you will really see how it is going to help.
In December 2019, China notified the World Health Organization of several cases of human respiratory illness, a disease later named COVID-19. The virus causing this disease is known as severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. The disease spreads through small droplets that are expelled from the nose or mouth when a person with COVID-19 coughs or exhales. Therefore, standing close to someone who is infected can put you at risk. These droplets can land on your hand and be transmitted through something as simple as a handshake, if afterwards you touch your eyes, nose, or mouth, the so-called T-zone. The virus is known to survive on different types of surfaces, so touching these contaminated surfaces and then touching your T-zone brings a high risk of infection. In December 2019, T-zone. The virus is known to survive on different types of surfaces, so touching these contaminated surfaces and then touching your T-zone brings a high risk of infection. What we know so far: the coronavirus is spherical in shape, and its genetic material is encapsulated by different types of proteins. Some of the key structural ones are spike S protein, the most prominent feature of coronaviruses from where they get their name, then M, or membrane protein, and the so-called envelope protein.
This was actually a small video to just remember all the steps, which actually how it enters and how to protect ourselves. When are people with COVID-19 most contagious? This is a very important question normally asked from all the doctors. What is the actual, when you get infected very fast? So it seems that infectiousness is highest in the 1 to 2 days before symptoms start. You just fix to the word that before symptoms start, means if some person get infected somewhere and even the symptoms is not there, that person is very infectious. They can spread the infection very fast. So it is to be very careful when you get infected and the symptoms start. It takes some time, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 days time. But even then, even though he's not infected, it is not symptomatic, but he is very infective. He can infect many people. And also, and that's 7 days after symptoms, people are very much scared. We are in quarantine, they are not touching us. But after 7 days, normally the chance of infection is very, very low and infection transmission is very low. So this very important thing which should be taken care of. And now coming to the COVID pathogenicity. Once the virus enters, it turns the cell into a factory. Means it grows so fast, it is very uncontrollable. Even the body does not have time to act on it. Our body does not have been exposed to this type of virus. And what happened if you are not exposed, you don't know the virus, the antigen in the virus, body start giving lots of reaction, lots of way by which they start fighting with the virus. So it takes time, and till then the million copies of itself which has been breathed out or coughed out and infected others. Viral particles are seen everywhere. Even it will come from the tears, stools, kidney, liver, pancreas, heart, semen, peritoneal fluid, and CSF. Why I'm talking about this? Why, Ajay being surgeon, would normally in all over the world, it was decided initially so to stop operation immediately, because if you go inside the abdomen, you will get exposed very fast because the load of virus is very, very high in a patient infected with the COVID. That's why most of the patients which are admitting, we have to go for COVID RT-PCR, so that not only we protect ourselves, we should protect our operation theater, we should protect other patients also, and protect the supporting staff. So let us have another very small video which I will share with you. This is to share how it spreads.
And how would a vaccine work? The coronavirus must infect living cells in order to reproduce. Let's have a closer look. Inside the virus, genetic material contains the information to make more copies of itself. A protein shell provides a hard protective enclosure for the genetic material as the virus travels between the people it infects. An outer envelope allows the virus to infect cells by merging with the cell's outer membrane. Projecting from the envelope are spikes of protein molecules. Both a typical influenza virus and the new coronavirus use their spikes like a key to get inside a cell in your body, where it takes over the cell's internal machinery, repurposing it to build the components of new viruses. When an infected person talks, coughs, or sneezes, droplets carrying the virus may land in your mouth or nose and then move into your lungs. Once inside your body, the virus comes in contact with cells in your throat, nose, or lungs. One spike on the virus inserts into a receptor molecule on your healthy cell membrane like a key in a lock. This action allows the virus to get inside your cell. A typical flu virus would travel inside a sac made from your cell membrane to your cell's nucleus that houses all its genetic material. The coronavirus, on the other hand, doesn't need to enter the host cell nucleus. It can directly access parts of the host cell called ribosomes. Ribosomes use genetic information from the virus to make viral proteins, such as the spikes on the virus's surface. A packaging structure in your cell then carries the spikes in vesicles which merge with your cell's outer layer, the cell membrane. All the parts needed to create a new virus gather just beneath your cell's membrane. Then, a new virus begins to bud off from the cell's membrane. Now, with the virus spreading in your body, how can you develop pneumonia symptoms? For this, we'll have to look into your lungs. Each lung has separate sections called lobes. Normally, as you breathe, air moves freely through your trachea or windpipe, then through large tubes called bronchi, through smaller tubes called bronchioles, and finally into tiny sacs called alveoli. Your airways and alveoli are flexible and springy. When you breathe in, each air sac inflates like a small balloon. And when you exhale, the sacs deflate. Small blood vessels called capillaries surround your alveoli. Oxygen from the air you breathe passes into your capillaries, and then carbon dioxide from your body passes out of your capillaries into your alveoli so that your lungs can get rid of it when you exhale. Your airways catch most germs in the mucus that lines your trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles. In a healthy body, hair-like cilia lining the tubes constantly push the mucus and germs out of your airways, where you might expel them by coughing. Normally, cells of your immune system attack viruses and germs that make it past your mucus and cilia and enter your alveoli. However, if your immune system is weakened, like in the case of a coronavirus infection, the virus can overwhelm your immune cells, and your bronchioles and alveoli become inflamed as your immune system attacks the multiplying viruses. The inflammation can cause your alveoli to fill with fluid, making it difficult for your body to get the oxygen it needs. You could develop lobar pneumonia, where one lobe of your lungs is affected, or you could have bronchopneumonia that affects many areas of both lungs. Pneumonia may cause difficulty breathing, chest pain, coughing, fever and chills, confusion, headache, muscle pain, and fatigue. It can also lead to more serious complications. Respiratory failure occurs when your breathing becomes so difficult that you need a machine called a ventilator to help you breathe. These are the machines that save lives and that medical device companies currently ramp up production for.
So just have revised what is the concept of how the COVID works, how it infects our lung. It starts from the nose, goes to the lung. There are lots of receptors in our body called ACE2 receptor, which is very much friendly, and this COVID virus gets attached with that, and it starts growing very fast. So now you can see that 71% with comorbid condition, comorbidity like male has more, female has more, less, affects all but predominantly the males. So that's why it is more, I have been seen that even males are getting infected. They are succumbing and landing up in hospitals very fast if they are not taking care of that. So already I have explained it started from the bats, mammal, spreads by human to human transmissions, and finally it came to human with the droplets and surface to surface transmission. There are many methods of transmission which has been described earlier. And also it enters through either in our body through the membrane of eyes, nose or mouth, or any protein which is receptors are available in our body in nasal mucosa or even into the lung. So these are the places where actually it is going to affect and it start growing. ACE2 receptors make a great target because they are found in the organ. This is all a medical term, don't go with that. I want to brief you that it is start from the nasal mucosa and it goes inside. Sometimes you will see it is causing other organs also. So what is this ACE2 receptors? The cells of the nose have a cell surface receptors called angiotensin converting enzyme 2 receptor. This is a very, they're fond of this SARS-CoV-2 virus goes and settle into that nasal mucosa and start growing. And that is the point where we can treat the patient. Now, what is the incubation period? What is this incubation means? The median incubation period, the time between infection and the onset of symptoms is normally 5.2 days. But that means if a person has got infected or exposed to the virus, he will remain in asymptomatic without any symptom for 3, 4, 5 days. And after that 5.2 days, he start having symptom with fever, chill, body ache. Maybe it is mild or maybe the major depending upon the viral load. But sometimes it has been seen within the 14 days, he does not have any problem, but after 14 days, he starts. That's why, the quarantine time has been fixed. Initially, it was fixed 14 days when you land up in a country coming from abroad and you have to stay 14 days quarantine. But that has been reduced to 7 days now, because gradually it has been studied that now there is no need of giving so much of long. If after 7 days, a patient is asymptomatic, he is okay, he can go home and still he can take quarantine 7 days more, get it checked. how to cope with effects of COVID quarantine. Now, there is a very important questions normally asked. Suppose a person comes and have developed or get exposed. He is thinking that, oh, maybe because my family member or some friend or workplace I have been exposed. So immediately you have to go for the quarantine. Everyone knows what is quarantine. So I'm not going in detail about that. But sedentary, now the problem the people are facing in quarantine, which I want to explain. I want to help you out how to help yourself during quarantine. Normally people go in quarantine, they relax, they sleep, and they stay in a room, and they are too much of bored because of they are not in touch with, because nowadays internet is there, so probably they keep themselves busy with that, but not that. That is another factor which I want to tell you. When you are in quarantine, being a doctor, how I treated my patient, I tell every patient to stay in a fully ventilated room. Just listen to my every step of my management. If you are staying in a single room and it is ventilated, not air conditioned, because if you are exhaling out, I mean breathing out, and you are throwing virus in your room and again inhaling it inside, your viral load will increase. So how to dilute this viral load? You just have to open the window. If you want to have an AC, please don't keep it very cool, because virus will die immediately if your temperature is high. But if you kept this temperature low, even 25, 24, probably it will survive for a longer time, and it will infect not only you. If someone enters inside the room, they are also getting infected. So what I will suggest you, please keep warm, normal temperature room, and please keep ventilated. And also, if it is possible, your breathing exercise should be done every 1 or 2 hours, because you can exhale out more viruses, so the viral load will be brought down. The method of treatment here lies in 2 ways. First, if you can decrease the viral load, your body will try to understand this virus. Its body will start forming antibody. Your body will reactivate, and it will start taking a defensive mechanism. Normally, it takes time. Younger people, young adults and children, they have a very high level of reactivity. They immediately trigger their antibody formation. In the older age group, and those who are having diabetes or cardiac conditions, they take longer time to react against the virus which has entered, and this new antigen which is inside our body, they are not able to understand. It will take time liver to form antibody and react to them. So very, very careful. That's why when you are in quarantine, you please don't take it, get stressed, don't get too much of worried. You do what has been prescribed by the doctor. I'll explain to you. First of all, in self-quarantine can also cause additional stress challenges, the mental health. For that, you can do some pranayam, yoga, whatever you can do. You have any faith in any God, you try to chant and do. Focused on that, probably everyone will. And get connected with your family, friends. And take tips. Your doctor also should monitor you every day. You make a chart. There are 3 important points to be mentioned every day. A 6-hourly temperature chart should be there, and oxygen saturation chart. You must buy one oxygen measurement equipment, keep it in your room. And also you must have this one, how much intake and output. Means if you are taking adequate amount of nutritious food, you are with the winner. End of the day, you will win all these hurdles which has coming to you. Because if your immunity to be kept higher level, you need a good nutrition. And what is good nutrition? I will tell you later on. So WHO recommended 150 minutes of moderate intensity or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity physical activity per week. And that is very important, because you cannot go and lie down, because in some conditions it causes thromboembolism, lung infections, and there are many complications can occur to the patients who are in quarantine. Coming back to how do I stay active and around the home during the COVID-19 pandemic? This is very simple. Try and reduce long period of time spent sitting in one position. If you are in room, don't stay and ideally, just stay, do some activities, whatever you can do. You can learn something, like you want to play music, you want to do something, you can do whatever, some job, work, whatever you can do, but you should not stay for a long time sitting in your one position. You have to keep moving. Reduce sitting for a long period by taking short 3 to 5 minutes break. Every 20 to 30 minutes, you must have a small break. And set up a regular routine to be active every day by planning a physical activity or exercise. Break either by yourself, by joining an online classes. These are the few tips which I can share with you right now. What can I do to keep myself healthy during the COVID-19 outbreak? Yes, this is a very, very important topic. And being an Indian, being our lots of knowledge from Ayurveda, our home medications, and lots of support from our parental. Now the rule has started coming up. We have changed our lifestyle, and that's why we are struggling. And probably we don't have that much of access to homemade food. That is one of the very, very, very important thing which I always emphasize to my patients, and I always tell what to eat and what not to eat. I always try to bring them back to their normal homemade food. What are the homemade food they should eat? First of all, the food should be warm and fresh. There should not be any fridge containing product like cold water, cold freeze products, or without any, freshness in that. So I always suggest there are lots of palatable and tasty foods are available, and it has been evidently you can make it like rice, dal, idli, upma. These are very palatable and you can digest properly. And also there is a very important point from medical side. It is not like talking about being a it is a natural. It has got a sufficient electrolyte. If suppose you take a sambar, I can't explain you, but I will tell you that sambar contains all sorts of soups, vegetables, everything is ingredients are there, and immunomodulator. It is an immunomodulator. Do you know there are every home in India, probably they used to pray and put a tulsi plant. Tulsi is a very good herb, and it has been kept in because of this condition only. The tulsi has got a definite role. You can put into green tea every day. You can start taking that. You will have an antiviral effect. There are many antivirals which is available in your garden. You don't know about that, but it is there. We have already suggested many people to take regular green tea with tulsi. You can put herbs there. Many herbs are available, and even nowadays tulsi chai is available. And now second is drinking enough water. Why? We have to hydrate ourselves, because now the liver is involved in forming. Your liver is not giving you nutrition. You are sick. Your liver wants rest. If you overload your liver with some food which is causing problem, like taking fatty meal, like taking mutton, meat, fried, and too much of ghee, please restrict it. You need only bland, easily digestible diet, and let the liver form antibody. Let the liver make lots of immunoglobulin, so that it will fight against the corona fast, and take out the fat content, because most of the people nowadays, those who, especially diabetes, are having fatty liver. And I have seen those people who are fatty liver, they take longer time, they'll end up in ICU and CCU. So please be careful. Eat less salt and sugar. I have restricted to all my patients, 500 I've seen, almost I stop immediately. Even taking fruit juice I have restricted. Why? The virus are more smarter than the body. They start growing faster if you take glucose or sucrose or anything, fructose even coconut water. I have seen many patients that day we started giving them coconut water, the virus growth is increased. So my target is to reduce the viral load, so that I need that body should also work, but the viral load should be decreased. So what I suggested, I normally suggested take liquid, and if you are having electrolyte imbalance, take dal ka pani, sambar, make it something which is very palatable, and it should not have much of salt, but less sugar. Avoid eating outside food, which I will always tell that outside food contains lots of fat and oil, so probably it is not going to help you. Please bring it down. Now, what are the type? There are different, now it has been defined. Earlier, last year when it has started, that time there was lots of confusion. We never have defined that this disease. Now we are able to define. And now the problem what we are facing, most of the patient takes time to surrender to the doctor or accept that he is having corona. That is the biggest hurdle in managing at a proper time and defining the patient is in which stage of disease. Why I am telling you that this has been defined. It is not defined by me. It is an international definition that has come up. Early stage infection, late and moderate. These are being defined. So I will tell you what is early infection. Most of the time, the infection starts when an uninfected person inhales virus, blood droplets or aerosol into the nose and throat. 47% of the time, transmission comes from the pre-symptomatic person. I already explained, patients are not having any symptom and you came in contact and they will infect you. 38% are symptomatic persons who are infecting the others, and 10% are patients. Infection can also occur when someone touches a contaminated surface. But nowadays only, asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic people are more infecting. So we have to be very careful. We always try to take everyone is infected and try to protect yourself, put a mask and try to maintain a distance with them. Now stages we have come up, and the treatment which have started, I will let you know a little bit of that. Coronavirus can actually be characterized into various stages based on the severity of the symptom and condition. Infection, COVID-19 can be classified into 3 stages. Stage 1, the early infection or viral response phase, during which symptoms of upper respiratory tract infection dominate. Only mild, sometimes even the patient does not have loss of taste and loss of some sensation, just like influenza. It is a stage 1. There is nothing as such. Is not very serious. He doesn't want to accept that I am a corona patient. He just get a little bit of symptom, and it may sometimes he get out of it because maybe he is not exposed with a heavy dose of virus. The stage 2 is the pulmonary phase, when the patient develops full-blown pneumonia, and with all its associated symptom, pneumonia. Now the things has gone beyond our, the person's reach. He can land up in hospital. Otherwise, he have to remain in quarantine, and he had to take a special care from the doctor who is online available to them. Now, finally, there's come the stage that we call hyperinflammation phase, when the patient develop acute respiratory distress syndrome. It means the virus has entered, and I have seen in the video, that video has very clearly explained that alveoli, where the inflammation occurs, the whole secretion settles down, and the patient start getting hypoxia, means oxygen saturation start sudden dropping, and patient will develop lots of distress, confusion. He may land up suddenly into a cardiac arrest or somewhere else. So that is a critical time, very difficult time to diagnose also and to manage it. It should be transferred immediately. That's why many people have started keeping at home oxygen cylinder or oxygen concentrator. So whenever the initial stage is there, loss of smell and taste and diarrhea is a very common problem, which most of people have felt who have already gone through. Even I have, in spite of having 2 vaccination, I get infected by one of my patients, and I land up with loss of sensation in the taste and smell. But fortunately, because the vaccine was there, so I have recovered very fast. I have started antiviral also. That's why I want to share with you. These are few things which actually virus settle down onto the ACE receptor, which is in the nasal area and the pharyngeal area, and it immediately damages that tissue. From a doctor point of view, I'll just try to, if someone want to understand, if they want to discuss with the doctor, if the lymphocyte count, we have to go for the certain investigation. The lymphocyte count is less than 100, the patient need admission. How we define as a doctor? If the progressive lymphopenia, less than 800, it is a very serious condition. Patient has to be in ICU, not in the hospital, in the ICU. If lymphocyte count is more than 100, non-severe illness, there is nothing to worry. We can manage it at home. We can manage it by giving medication. So similarly, there are certain conditions like X-ray chest, which is very commonly been done to almost the patient. If there is a 3 opacity, likely to go for a high flow oxygen, we have to bring oxygen cylinder at home, or we can transfer the patient to the COVID ward. Now, there is another condition called COVID complications. Sorry for the spelling mistake here. Timely detection hypoxia can prevent death. The first trigger is silent hypoxia or happy hypoxia. What is happy hypoxia? Patient is okay, sitting in front of you. He is moving, is walking. Suddenly he starts dropping. It happens mostly on the 7th or 9th day of his infection. The day he start having this happy hypoxia means his saturation suddenly start dropping from 94 to 92, 93, 89 and 80. Now it is the critical time. You should look for the doctor, look for the bed, look for the oxygen. You cannot stay inside home. Either in home you must manage some oxygen cylinder, otherwise look for the hospital. This is the condition. And how can we check that? Normally in hypoxia, carbon dioxide levels are raised and the person is irritable. But here in the COVID, it is different. In COVID, carbon dioxide level is normal, but oxygen saturation drops down. And that is the point which we have to take care of. If SpO2 level falls more than 4, means if you go and you walk, suppose you have a oxygen saturation monitor is there in your finger, and if you walk for some time and after that you suddenly drops to level 4, then you have to be very careful. There is something going wrong with your lung, so you have to take care of the doctor. So these are the factors which now we have to, as a doctor, what we have to do. We have to do the routine test. What are the normal routine tests we are doing? ESR, CRP level. This is for inflammation in the body to assess how much inflammation is going on. And also we have to see CRP is more than 26 and there is a ferritin or D-dimer. That means there is a hemolysis has started, means the blood has started breaking down in the periphery of the lung. So these are some advanced things which actually I don't want to bring it to your knowledge, but how we do as a doctor, how we evaluation is done. If someone is suggesting these investigation, that means the situation has gone little far and we need some special care for that. Also, we do some X-rays every time there are blood tests, and X-rays are important, and that you already explained that their opacity, number of opacity is the criteria by which we can assess. Some patient has fever more than 103 degrees Fahrenheit, persistent for more than 2 weeks, look for a precipitating. Maybe it is not because of the corona, he has already gone through, but there is a secondary infection after the corona. So sometimes in elderly people, we are giving low molecular weight heparin. Why? We are have to there because this thrombolysis start. Thrombolysis means the thrombus formation in the blocking the small vessels that may block even the cardiac vessels. They will block in the brain. They may block all kidney and everywhere. So we have to hemolyze that area, and we have to give low molecular heparin that is being used for the patient. So what are the investigation? Already explained that C-reactive protein, lactate dehydrogenase, lymphopenia, RT-PCR, you know, everyone has to go through to first detect is it really infected or not. Now, what is the role of HRCT? You people are asking many questions. Why you are doing so much of CT scan? Actually, CT scan has a better assessment for the lung. You know why medical science is crippling or just cracked down? Because of, you know, the lung is a different organ. We cannot manage lung properly, especially in the COVID infection, because we need ventilator, we need some support of oxygen, and you know we cannot take out the secretion which is precipitated in the alveoli, which is like a jelly. It fixed to that area. And how can we detect early? Even X-ray is not very much a good criteria to detect that small precipitation. So that's why CT scan is done, and also CT scan look for super infection. Like suppose a coronavirus is not a bacterial virus, it is a virus, so bacteria may come up, and then you must be hearing nowadays that lots of fungus has grown up and is creating problem to the consultant or physician how to curve down. So early detection of other infections like bacterial and other viral infection, we have to go for the CT scan. Now coming directly to the COVID treatment plan. What is COVID? How we are managing COVID? Initially, early stage, nothing to worry. Just have a paracetamol, just take warm diet, warm food, warm water, warm soup, keep hydrating yourself. You are giving time to your body will react and it will form. Ultimate aim is to curb down the viral load, and you also has to create your antibody fast. Trigger your body, let the body start forming antibody, and that will take 2 to 3 days time. So please, and that during time, don't overload your liver with unnecessary fatty and oily food. Don't go for your test. It is not your test which is going to help you. You will survive if you go for a blunt food, and you have to eat whether you like it or not. You have no choice. So then comes the role of the antiviral. So there are many methods by which we can do antiviral. Nowadays, it's a good news that in Oman also we have availability of antiviral like favipiravir, Fabiflu is available, and the dose is little high, although it has been given only under physician's control that has been prescribed to the patient. And how it acts, actually there are dispute in using antiviral remdesivir and favipiravir, but we are using it, our doctors are using this one, and it really gives some effect because sometimes it brings down the viral load immediately. If the viral load is come down, so automatically body will take time and it will form antibody very fast. Similarly, what happens if the virus goes inside the lungs, then it starts creating inflammation. So same time, after 7th or 8th day, we normally give a steroid or tocilizumab, that is an anti-inflammatory medication injectable. It is very costly and it is prescribed to many people. And also sometimes we give IV plasma therapy. You all have heard about that. What is plasma therapy? It is actually those people who are already infected and after 14 days of their symptoms free, they can give plasma. They already have antibody against COVID, and that can be transfused to the patient, which is very serious, and that will help him to come out very fast. So if the low hypoxia is there, low flow oxygen like 6 liters per minute titrated in high flow oxygen using a non-breathing mask, means suppose if you are giving oxygen, you should be very careful. The mask should be different. It should not rebreathe your own. You are not rebreathing yourself. We are not going in detail about the ICU and ventilator management because that has been taken care of. But whenever patient has got CSN, we have to land up in the ICU and the ventilators are used. And because ventilators are very less and people are less, doctors are available, manpower is required too much. So we want that you should not ever think about that. You can get out of it early, and so better you should take care of everything by yourself. Now, just coming to immunity. Now, it is a very, very important chapter and important thing to understand. Everyone should know it. What is herd immunity? What is immunity? What is the role of vaccines? So this is the thing which I want to bring it to your knowledge, and you must know it. What is herd immunity? See, there are conditions when the society, the population get immunity all over. This virus has entered into our society recently, and our body has not been exposed with this virus. So what happened? Everyone is getting exposed. Either they will get today or tomorrow. Everyone maybe get this virus somewhere, somehow. Probably after that, the body will create antibody inside. Or if you will take some vaccine, you will have an antibody and you will get some herd immunity. Herd immunity, now WHO initially maybe thinking some country thought, okay, we can let them people get exposed with the virus, and who will survive, he will have antibody. No role of vaccination at that time. And those who will not survive, they will die. So the WHO has rejected this concept. No, we will go with the vaccination. The herd immunity by infection is not a good option. The herd immunity by vaccination is a better option, and we should go with that. Similarly, how this vaccine start giving support to fight against the disease? It forms antibodies. Now I'll give you some little insight about antibodies. I will let you know what is antibodies and how it help you. Now in Oman, what are the vaccine available? This is the vaccine most of the people are aware, and they're looking for, and they're asking most of the time. Even the private sector, it is available. Sometimes the company, they have already prescribed and given. This is called Pfizer BioNTech, and it's approved in 91 countries. 27 trials in 15 countries has been done. It is very effective. 95% effectiveness is there, and the complication and side effects with all the vaccines are same. Headache will come across that. The other vaccine which is available in Oman, number 2, is Oxford AstraZeneca, and it is also approved in 117 countries, and 32 trials in 19 countries has been done. So nothing to worry. You can have either of the two, and most of them are equally effective. 94.5% is AstraZeneca effective. The third one is Sputnik. Sputnik is also available here. However, it's not very popular. It's only approved in 69 countries, and 16 trials in 6 countries are there. There is fourth one, which is Sinovac. Sinovac is a coronavac, and it is, I think China has produced this vaccine. And of course, it has been said that it is only 40% vaccination, 40% effectivity is there. So they are now trying to add on another vaccine to enhance the efficacy of this. So what I will tell you, even it is 40% or 50%, 60%, don't worry. If you have vaccinated, you are vaccinated, you will definitely have some immunity. You will not land up in the hospital. So vaccination is important. Everyone has to take it. Now, because we are Indians, we have to know in India what are the vaccines available. So I just brought some name about that. India has so far given more than 260 million till date. Maybe it is already crossed. I'm a little late. What information I'm getting you. And what are the vaccine has been given in India? That is Covishield and Covaxin and Sputnik V. It also has given approval to the Indian pharma Cipla for the Moderna vaccine. Now there is another 300 million doses of another vaccine is coming up called Indian form Biological E. So there are 6 now: Covishield, Covaxin, Sputnik, Moderna vaccine, and Biological E. But you know, the Pfizer is not there. There is something going. So there is a Pfizer is not available. So those who are taking in Oman, Pfizer, please take Pfizer again in Oman itself. We cannot go there and you can take Pfizer there. You have to change and take another vaccine, which is not still, they are working on that. So not going in detail what these vaccines are, why there are different types of vaccines are available. What is the, why someone has asked me what does it mean? Actually, it is, vaccines are, there are different types. Some is whole virus, some are protein subunit viral, and some are nucleic acid viral. So we are not going in detail about that, but there are 3-4 types are there, and one is RNA virus, which is Moderna, and this one I will tell you a little bit about that. What is inactive vaccine? Inactive vaccine, the vaccine which has been inactivated, killed, and that has been put inside our body. Initially, it was used in flu and polio vaccines. So inactivated vaccines are available. Some are live attenuated, means that has been made weakened version of the virus so that it will not cause problem in our body. And these vaccines are used in measles, mumps, and rubella, MMR, and also in chickenpox and Sigel. So these have already been tried, and it has been successful vaccine. The third one is the viral vector vaccine. Viral vector vaccines are, there are some sort of protein called that is used in Ebola virus vaccine, because this corona vaccine actually is very new, and we have to either follow either of the 4 or 5 methods to take approval fast, and it should not have any side effect. So now coming finally to, what is the time now? 3:40. Okay. So now going a little faster so that we have a interaction session also. The other vaccines which is available is the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. The Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is very important to make you understand. It is very good. Also, it is very it's economical. You can take it intramuscular at the. It gives a protection of maybe even you can take after 3 months, 2 months. There is not a. It's one dose has been given in UK, and probably they are waiting that you can give after 6 weeks also. So there is nothing to worry. There is no hard and fast rule. People are taking it, and we can do that. Telling to. Regarding Pfizer, little bit I will give you insight. This is the only vaccine which has been recommended for people 12 years and older. The Pfizer BioNTech vaccine was 95% effective, which I already told you. From 12, even in school in Oman, they started giving to the children. But Moderna vaccine will be given only after 18 years of age. It's still under trial, so not have been approved for below from 12 years. Who should not get vaccinated? Those who have any allergy reaction, anaphylactic reaction with the vaccine material or something, they should not be given this vaccine. And it's still rest of the people, like pregnancy, we have some restrictions. Even some people who are having immunocompromised, they are we have to monitor them. They should be taken care of. The new one more vaccine which is coming in Oman and probably in India also, that is Johnson & Johnson. It's a single dose vaccine, which is viral vector vaccine. And of course, that it may cause tiredness, headache, muscle pain, chills, fever, nausea. Especially women younger than 50 years older should especially be aware of the risk of blood clots. That's why many people have reported regarding this Johnson & Johnson vaccine that they have developed blood clots. And for that, we simply have to keep hydrated, and maybe you will have to take some medication for that. There are one important finding which has came to our knowledge regarding this vaccine is fainting attacks. 8 fainting events for every 1 lakh doses of Johnson & Johnson vaccine has been recorded till date. So these events occur during recommended 15 minutes wait after vaccination. So normally it's a fainting attack. Maybe patient has loss of sensation, and you will faint, maybe pull down of blood or something happens, and then it has been reported regarding this vaccine. Now everything is not done with the vaccination has been given to the patient. We are coming to the person who already have been infected and they are still should need care. This is called a post-COVID complication, post-COVID situation. What is post-COVID? Means you have recovered from the COVID and you think, oh, it's fine, now I'm okay, fine, you start walking. There are many incidents, probably maybe you are aware or not. We have one of the very good news reader who actually lost life 1 week after the after recovering from this COVID. Why it happened? Normally it takes 2 to 3 weeks of time. This COVID not only involves the lung, but it involves many organs like heart. Heart is one of the very big culprit. Probably they start developing ischemic attack, and that should be taken care of. You should not any time stop your cardiac medication. You should not stop your diabetic medicine. You should not stop your hypothyroid. Please, those persons who are having comorbid conditions, they are very, very important to follow their physician's rules, the prescription. They should be very careful about controlling their parameters of thyroid, cardiac, and everything. And of course, there are some cases of brain strokes, Guillain-Barré syndrome, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's has been reported, but it's still under study. It is not very clear because it's very new. There are some few patients has land up with a kidney problem that is called COVID-associated nephropathy. It is a very dangerous and in patient difficult to revive also. Now coming after COVID, the people are suffering more of anxiety and symptoms of workplace. They are really suffering. There is stress they have gone through. They have such a difficult situation they have faced. They need more care. They need support. They need to be taken psychological care also. So that is being taken care. It is not even with the patient. It is for the doctors also, with the workforce who are actually going through. They are also facing the stress, and we have to take care of that part of anxiety and control in society. Now coming directly to the role of yoga, we are from a country where yoga has been started, and we are really feeling high that we are the place from where the yoga has gone, and now it is most of the people all over the world, they are using yoga, but we are not using properly. So I want to bring it to your knowledge that yoga has a tremendous effect, and it's going to help you a lot. Please do yoga regularly, and yoga certain asana, it will definitely help you to control your cholesterol, triglycerides, free fatty acid, blood glucose, body weight, because you have to stay in a limited space. This is the only method of exercise, very easy, and you can follow whatever extent you can follow, you do that. Especially I have done during my corona time, my quarantine time, the Tarasana, Ardh Matsya Asana, or Bhujangasana, Dhanusha Asana. These are a few things. I will give you some clue about that also. I have a small video for you, all of you, so that I can explain. I have already put into my YouTube channel. Initially, when there was a loss of oxygen inside the patient, they start dropping. That time there was a chaos everywhere. There was no cylinder. Hospital was full. So I created this video. Just go through that video. You will see what is proning and how can you improve your oxygen saturation by doing proning. This is a simple video in Hindi. I will make you understand in English also. और एक कॉम्प्लिकेटेड पेशेंट बन जाते हैं। मैं उस स्टेज की बात कर रहा हूँ जिसमें इंडिया में हमारे पास और बाहर में भी लोगों के पास ऑक्सीजन सैचुरेशन बेड की कमी है और 80 तक चला गया सैचुरेशन। लोग घबरा गए, सिलेंडर अपने घर पे रखे हुए हैं। हम कैसे उसको लंग को क्लीन करें? ऐसा कोई व्यवस्था नहीं। दूसरे सिस्टम में रहता तो दूसरा, अगर स्टोमक में है तो उसका तो हम क्लीनिंग कर सकते हैं सब जगह का, लेकिन लंग एक फेफड़ा इतना डेलिकेट है कि उसके अंदर एक ग्लू की तरह जब चिपक जाता है नीचे, खासकर जो पीछे नीचे का पोर्शन होता है उसको कहते हैं, जो बेस ऑफ लंग है वहाँ पे डिपेंडेंट पोर्शन है, वहाँ पे वो जाके सिक्रीशन एक ग्लू की तरह चिपका रहता है। उसको निकालना बहुत ज़रूरी है और इसके लिए मुझे बहुत लोगों ने बोला एक छोटा सा प्रेजेंटेशन वीडियो भेजें कि करना क्या है। तो करना कुछ नहीं है, सिंपली आपको प्रोनिंग करता है। प्रोनिंग मीन्स कि आपको प्रोन पोजीशन में जाके लेट के या एक प्राणायाम या योगा करते हैं जिसके कारण हम उसको डायफ्राम का प्रेशर पीछे से जाएगा और डिपेंडेंट रहने से सिक्रीशन थोड़ा डिसलॉज होगा, निकलेगा और आपका ऑक्सीजनेशन थोड़ा बढ़ेगा। ये छोटा सा प्रोसीजर है, आप देखें, मैं इसको करके बताता हूँ। डीप ब्रीथ लें, अपने बिछावन के ऊपर जाएं और इसको इस तरह से करने का प्रयास करें। जैसे आप पद्मासन में बैठते हैं तो आप लंबी ब्रीथ लें, अपने पिलो को यहाँ सामने रखें और सिर को नीचे रखें, कमर को ऊंचा कर लें। एक इंक्लाइन पोजीशन होना चाहिए, लंग का पोस्टीरियर पोर्शन ऊपर होना चाहिए और आगे झुका होना चाहिए। फिर लंबा सांस लें और एक्सहेल करें और अगर संभव हो सके तो कफ करें। इसको करने से काफ़ी कुछ आपको डिसलॉज होगा। हालांकि इसके लिए अलावा फिजियोथेरेपी है, प्रॉनिंग सोना है, बहुत सारे वीडियो आपको मिलेगा, बट दिस इज़ समथिंग विच इज़ वेरी इफेक्टिव एंड यू कैन मैनेज इट। इसके अलावा स्टीम इनहेलेशन के साथ करेंगे तो शायद जो सिक्रीशन भी डाइल्यूट होगा। आगे मैं और वीडियो भेजूंगा। So now the role of community and other part we have already gone through. This is strategy planning, and we have to restrict from at home, restrict yourself, increased spread to avoid increased spread, close environment and crowded places with close physical contact with no ventilation. We have to take care of that. This is everyone knows. And from the community mitigations to individual containment, broader good over individual autonomy, perfect cannot be that. And these are the things which have to be taken care of. Sometimes we should also take care of other people. We have to help them. We have to bring it to the knowledge, whatever the complication is going on. You try to help whatever way you can do to those who are in quarantine. Don't get scared of that. Don't start fighting, shouting and everyone, because this has been happened earlier. So this is my request. Let's join hand again and be very passionate to learn something more and help people. Even you don't get scared, because being a corona warrior, we have done and we have faced and we have accepted this challenge. We have almost won the war. So please be very cooperative. Do whatever been suggested to you. Any time if you want to ask anything, I have shared my WhatsApp number. It is Indian number 0091 999 9103 and email also. So you are free to give me any things you want. You can ask. From now onwards, we are going to have interaction section, and please give me some questions so that I can reply to you. It's an open house now.
Is the question.
Tell me. You can unlock everyone. They can. Okay.
This is Rakesh Ranjan.
Yeah, Rakesh ji, boliye.
Just thank you for such an interactive and informative session.
Thank you.
It was very informative. As far as this vaccination is concerned, just I wanted to know that one of my friend, actually he got the vaccination. He was not knowing that he is infected, but after taking the vaccine, he got the symptoms, and then once he checked the RT-PCR test, it came positive, and his case becomes severe. Okay. So also my question is here is that before going to have myself vaccinated, or one wants to take the vaccine, is it suggested that before taking the vaccine, he should get the RT-PCR test done, and once it is negative, then only he should go?
No. See, you have
asymptomatic or not?
Yeah, it's a very important question you have asked, and I have already gone through. Many of people have actually called me for this information, because see, the problem is I want to give you a very important information right now.
Yeah, correct.
See, COVID vaccination does not need any RT-PCR. You should go and get it COVID vaccination done. But one thing which always keep in your mind when you go to the COVID vaccination center, you please protect yourself. You're the highest possibility that you will get infected, because most of the people who are sitting there are asymptomatic or little symptomatic. They're scared and they're going for vaccination. So I have seen many people. Now, how as a doctor, I will describe this. As a doctor, when a patient comes after vaccination, initial 1 or 2 days, the fever will be because of the COVID, the vaccination. Yes. If the person start having fever after 3-4 days, 3 days he was not having any symptoms, anything. After 3-4 days, he start having. One of my very good colleague from Muscat, he called me. He started on the 5th day after vaccination. I told him, go get it checked. He went to Brazil hospital. They have done RT-PCR and it was positive. And then we have started the treatment for COVID. So what happened? You can catch this infection anytime in that center, and if you have vaccination and both, so nothing to worry. Just you have to go through the same, because already your vaccine is inside. It is also causing immunity. You already have, that has already triggered your antibody formation. So don't get worried about it. Okay, once you have even catch your COVID infection and you are RT-PCR positive, okay, you have to get treatment, but you will be more, I mean, you will recover fast. At least one vaccine, but it normally takes 13 days, 14 days. But normally we don't get scared. We take it as a infected RT-PCR patient and we treat that patient.
Okay, okay. Means there is no if somebody is asymptomatic and he got the vaccine, and because of that vaccine, it will not get aggravated, because what is the impression in the mind is vaccine, you are taking the vaccine means you are giving the virus inside the body to form the antibody.
Yeah.
So, and if you are already infected, means you have already virus inside your body, and again you are putting virus through vaccine, means you are increasing the viral load, and that will aggravate the severity of the individuals.
Here, Rakesh ji, one important thing I will tell you. If you are getting infected and you are getting infection antibody formation,
yeah,
it depends on the parameter, how much severity your infection was there. So how much antibody will form. It is not well defined, because if you get light infection, you will have a light antibody. But in vaccine, the dose is been, as such, it isn't prescribed that your antibody will form adequately to protect you for next 6-7 months. So
okay.
Now your question, I understand that you have already have virus infection inside, and you already taken vaccine also. So both will start forming antibody at its same time. Now it is not you can withdraw. You need more care. You need more hydration. You need more support your liver, so that you can overcome very fast and you can tolerate both the effects.
Okay.
Okay. There is nothing. There is no option. There is nothing like we. That's why it is a difficult situation. It is a very common problem people are facing, because most of the people are coming after vaccination. They are getting fever, and then we have to treat both. But how to manage it? It is very important. We can manage them by giving sufficient hydration, sufficient care. We should not let them lie down. They should report immediately. Maybe support of IV or oral medications also there. Maybe you can take antiviral tablet also. This is available here.
Okay, okay. Just one more question. I will give the opportunity to ask another fellows. Once person has already recovered from the COVID, what is the considerable time after that he should get the vaccine?
Normally, it is recommended 90 days after patient has recovered. But
okay.
we can take vaccine. See, there are two criteria. There are many requirements are there. Is it required for your? Is it really needed? Suppose a person who has already infected, he is better than any vaccination.
Okay.
But it depends on the severity of infection he developed. If he is severely infected and he recovered, his immunity will persist. Still, the antibody will remain for around 7 to 8 months, more than even 1 year. But a person is not a mild infection, maybe probably not have that much of antibody. So this is a very vague area, and for that, what we do, we can at least start after 90 days. We can start giving vaccination. Even after 2 weeks, we can start giving vaccination. But it depends. Another requirement why we have to give vaccination. It is an international requirement now. It is not only for the physical requirement. If you want to walk away, you go somewhere. You want to go by airport, you have to take the vaccination. Passport is going to be created recently. Madam is there. I think probably she will give you more insight into that.
Yeah,
but for that requirement also we have to give.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any more questions?
Excuse me, doctor. I have one question.
Yes, sir. Please.
Dr. Saab, when if a person who has taken Pfizer vaccine, due to emergency, he has to go to India now. How much time can elapse between first vaccine and second vaccine so that he can come back and take it? Maximum.
See, boss, this is very, very important question. I will tell you on information. There is no defined time. Normally, we give after 21 days, but it has been said even single dose of vaccine is effective as 64%. Patient will not develop, and it is requirement not for the person's immunity also, but it is required for the transportation. Like if you want to go by flight or somewhere else, you need to have a vaccination 2 doses that he will be allowed to enter into the country. Otherwise, quarantine period will be there and something is there. So this is all under now a things are getting safe. It's been not very clearly defined. It is still vague. So he can take 1 dose of vaccine now, you go to India, stay for 1 or 2, 3 months, no problem, come back and take another dose of vaccine. So these are all initial stages of, because these vaccines has been given a special permission. It has not still been, because it takes 5 years time to define all the doses, the immunity developed, the antibody monitoring, everything should be done properly, but still it is not a time. Now we have to survive. For survival, we are taking vaccination. Pfizer, he has taken, it is good. Now he cannot get it in India, so probably he has to come back and he has to take, probably now they will start Pfizer there also. So keep in mind 2 important things. It is for our survival. If you will take 2 doses within after 21 days, second dose, then he will have a 95% chance that he will not have severe infection. He will be, but if he is having only single dose, it is also effective. He can have a 60% chance he will not develop if he'll take other precautions.
Thank you, doctor.
Ram Kumar ji.
Yeah.
Namaskar.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. कैसे हैं?
बस बढ़िया.
Only query is, मैं second dose लेने के बाद यदि body pain और feverish है, can we take Panadol in night?
Of course, Panadol तो आप देखिए second dose में ज्यादा ही symptom आता है. क्यों आता है? उसका कारण है, first dose में तो आपका body initial stage में रहता है, थोड़ा सा react करता है. Second dose में antibody का एक level बन जाता है, and you will develop little more fever, more malaise. तो उस समय में पैनाडोल ले सकते हैं. और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज जो आपको करना चाहिए जब भी सेकंड डोज या फर्स्ट डोज लेते हैं, अपने को हाइड्रेट कीजिए. हाइड्रेशन इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज नॉर्मली लोग भूल जाते हैं. हाइड्रेशन मतलब पानी, मत सिर्फ पानी नहीं पीना है. हाइड्रेशन मींस कि सूप, दाल का पानी, इलेक्ट्रोलाइट शुड बी देयर. बॉडी टूटना नहीं चाहिए, बॉडी को वीक नहीं होना चाहिए, लीवर को एंटीबॉडी बनाने में हेल्प करना चाहिए.
ओके.
अब मैं तो सबसे ज्यादा सबको बोलता हूँ इडली और सांभर खाओ. सांभर इज कंप्लीट इलेक्ट्रोलाइट. वेजिटेबल्स है, सूप है, दाल, लीवर फ्रेंडली है वो.
गुड गुड. मेनली यही पूछना था. दैट्स ऑल. थैंक यू वेरी मच डॉक्टर साहब.
थैंक यू.
I have one question, doctor.
या मैम.
हाँ, आप बोल रहे हो हाइड्रेट करो, मतलब you mean hydrate by which? Not only water you are saying. Then how we hydrate ourselves?
या सी हाइड्रेशन इन मेडिकल टर्म, जब आप देखते हैं कभी हॉस्पिटल में जाते होगे आप, कभी कोई तबीयत खराब होता है, सबसे पहले आपको एक आइडिया
सवाल कि सेकंड डोज में बॉडी पेन करेगा तो पैनाडोल ले सकते हैं.
तो
ये वो बुझा के लिए
क्लोज कर दीजिए.
सेकंड डोज के बाद पैनाडोल ले सकते हैं.
उनको म्यूट कर दीजिए. हाँ सॉरी मैडम, जस्ट अ मिनट.
No problem.
Now actually hydration means you have to maintain your electrolytes. अगर सिर्फ पानी पिएंगे ना तो बॉडी का इलेक्ट्रोलाइट डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगा, डाइल्यूशनल हाइपोनाइट्रीमिया हो जाएगा. मतलब अगर आपका इलेक्ट्रोलाइट, सोडियम, पोटाशियम सब कुछ करेक्ट है बॉडी में या कंसंट्रेटेड है, और पानी खाली पीते रहेंगे तो डाइल्यूशनल हाइपोनाइट्रीमिया हो जाएगा, तो आपको कमजोर करेगा. आप सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है कि आप हाइड्रेशन करने के लिए सूप, दाल का पानी, ORS, ओरल रिहाइड्रेशन सॉल्ट, आप थोड़ा बहुत नमक और काला नमक का मिश्रण नींबू का पानी से मिला के डालें. जैसे आप बनाते हैं, शिकंजी बनाते हैं, सांबर है, दाल का पानी, वेरी गुड. लिटिल प्रोटीन भी है उसमें, सारे इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स है, वेजिटेबल्स हैं.
ओके, मतलब सूप जैसे पीना है, दाल स्पेशली प्रोटीन ज्यादा लेना है.
प्रोटीन ज्यादा लेना है, लेकिन सबसे जरूरी क्या है कि सूप क्यों पीता है? एक साथ 3 वर्क करता है सूप. हर 2 घंटे पे आप सूप पीते हैं, अगर गर्म पानी पीते हैं तो एक तो वायरल लोड कम होता है. अब आप ठंडा पानी पिएंगे डाइल्यूशन हो जाएगा. लेकिन अगर सूप पीते हैं तो उसमें आप थोड़ा नमक डालते हैं, उससे पोटाशियम, सोडियम सबका सम्मिश्रण बहुत अच्छा बनता है. देन यू विल बी मोर हाइड्रेटेड. आपका बॉडी एक नहीं होगा, और बॉडी को वही चाहिए, लीवर को उस समय वही चाहिए, दूसरा चीज नहीं चाहिए.
अच्छा, ओके, अंडरस्टूड. Thank you, doctor.
Doctor साहब, एक one more query. Somebody has taken Pfizer vaccine here in Oman, and now he has to go to India. Like in the case of lots of students, 12th students, they got the first vaccine. Now they have to go and they will get himself admitted into some of the institute. Now Pfizer vaccine is not available there. then what is your recommendation? Whether they should go for
the best way to get out, if he's not coming within 2 to 3 months, they should take the other vaccine, take a course of other vaccine. There's no harm because people are, the international forum is working to mix and match. They started doing that, but he should take after 3 months, not immediately.
Okay, after 90 days you are. Okay.
Better if he can come and take it here. Otherwise, probably in Pfizer will come in India also. Maybe they are working on that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, sir. I have a query. I'm Roli Tripathi.
Yeah, Roli.
I just want to ask, my brother-in-law got detected with COVID on 3rd of July, 3rd July.
Okay.
And 2-3 days back, he got his chest X-ray done, and the doctor said there were some symptoms of pneumonia. So he also gave him medicines like Upison, Rysec, Azomycin, Relva, Remedal, aspirin, and Centrum Lutein. But he still is feeling a lot of weakness and congestion in his chest. So what should he do now?
See, the first
Are
important
these
thing,
medications proper?
No, I will tell you one thing. I cannot
Yes,
give
sir,
you a
please.
comment on the treatment what doctor has started, but I will give you
Yeah.
some idea. First,
Yeah,
I already
please, sir.
explained initially that initial stage of viral infection, this COVID infection, there are two parts of the treatment. One part, the patient, 75% job is the patient. So doctor's job, almost everywhere there is a prescribed norm. Even government of India has given this medicine, you should give it immediately, and that's all. What I will suggest you, he's feeling weak and lots of weaknesses started. Please tell him to diet should be regularized properly. He should understand that seriousness of the disease. He should take it very seriously, and please, he should do it very fast. That he should take sufficient hydration, sufficient soup, sufficient diet. And second, there is no other medication is going to work except paracetamol initially, and then you can request your doctor that if the viral load is high or he's having pneumonic patch, probably initial 3-4 days, the antiviral doses of antiviral tablet is available, like Fabiflu is available in India or here, or even in Oman is available. If you can start antiviral early, probably his viral load will come down. And also please him to keep himself in a very open, like more ventilated room. He should do some physical activity. He should not succumb to that. He should fight for the, like proning, doing oxygenation, steaming. These has different role, and he will come out of that. If he is depending on, that is the problem in Indian concept. People are thinking that always everything is a medicine. There is no medicine still defined for the treatment. We are giving medication. I'm really accepting it, and everyone has accepted that no definite medication is there. We have to depend on our antibody. The day our antibody will form, he will be cured. If his antibody will delay, he will struggle. He will land up somewhere. Even in the hospital, no one is giving any medication. It is just waiting till the antibody will form. So how the antibody will form, he will have to depend upon his diet, his regular, the antiviral load should be brought down by climatic steaming, by, ventilation, by taking hot drink, that's water, soups, that are the important things.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Dr. Saab, I have one question. Regarding now, everybody saying COVID is there, and now new virus, new Delta is the Delta variant. Now today I'm saying Kappa variant and some yellow variant, different kind of names has been kept. Maybe there is a difference between COVIDs, or what is?
This is Delta. There are variants. This is a virus which is very, very smart. What happened? Normally, it keeps changing the strain. If you will not give a immunization schedule early, and it is not able to control, what will happen? Strains are changing. That is why the difficulty is coming up. If all over the world, the scientists are thinking how to curb down. Every time they take out the sample and create another vaccines to fight against that variation. But the problem is that it will continue for a long time. The Delta variant, this variant, the Beta variant, all these variation will keep coming up. If you have at least some sort of immunization in your body, some sort of antibody, even that is going to help you. And to only important which we are worried is that we should get rid of that. We don't want to go to hospital. we have to face this virus. We have to welcome it in our society properly. Prepare yourself. Time has come. We scientists are working on that. How this because RNA virus is very, very smart. They changes with the area wise. So we cannot control that, and that is not in our hand. And the vaccine is coming up. Maybe sometimes it gives coverage. You know, there was a story I will tell you, which is very, very important at this point. There is there was one doctor who prescribed to almost all his village during initial stage of COVID infection. He prescribed MMR, measles, mumps, rubella virus vaccination to almost all his family and all his family members. You know, that time MMR, the rubella part of that vaccine has 40% resemblance with the COVID, as we studied that time. And really 40% is also enough to fight against, instead of taking so many things like Giloy, these, that. Many people are giving lots of, put a lemon in nose and this, that. Many people started treating people out there, creating so much of confusion in the social media. So what we do as a scientist, as a doctor, we understood that okay, this has got resemblance. So if there is a vaccine which is 90%, 94%, above 60, 80% COVID antibody formation is there, we can definitely come out from the serious infection, and that virus will come to your body. Once you get exposed, then after that you will not have that seriousness. You will, like Jukam, this will keep coming and you will get rid of that.
Thank you. Thank you, doctor. Dr. Sanju wants to say something.
Thank you, doctor, for such an interactive session, and thank you, Indian Sohar Club, for organizing such a session. I have just a small query. It's regarding how prone the children are to this coronavirus if the age of children is less than 5 years.
So this is now this is the time the third wave is waiting for them only, because most of the people get in vaccination and already infected. Their situation in the society, either they are infected and have antibody, or they are been vaccinated. The children, because the vaccine is not still been recommended for below 12 years, so probably people are waiting. And in our hospital in Aster, many children started coming up with but the good part of the children are that they are going to fight very fast. They have a ability to develop antibody very fast. Because of that, initially, when you must have seen, initially the government has decided to give oldies only, above 60 years they started with the vaccination, and then the health worker, because in children there are inbuilt things are there. God has given us some sort of immunity antibody formation. They read it very fast and they come up with antibody immediately. But definitely they will need support of oxygenation if the patient has some serious infection is still there. So for that, what we can do, we have to prepare the whole ICU or intensive newborn area everywhere. But that is a challenging job. So even in India, they are looking for that. There will be a very big flare-up situation in society, with the children may get infected and maybe in a big trouble. But one thing, so Dr. Sanjeev, I will tell you that this you can bring it down. Don't teach or don't promote your children to go for the fast food. This is the time to learn that homemade food is very, very important. You have to teach them to take soup, hydration, proper diet and regular diet. Do some little activities. We have to be punished. We are getting punished because of we have ruined the environment. We have damaged everything. We have damaged our living style. Also, we have forgotten what the mother and father has taught us, eating the good habits and food and everything. So we have to bring them down and we have to make them understand this is our role. The parent has to take care of that.
So another question related to the same question, like as an adult, we can easily make out like whether we have a corona symptoms or not. For a children of 2 or 3 years, so fever is one thing that can be easily make out, but the children cannot express if he has a loss of taste or something. So how can we make it out at the early stages that there are
see, whatever stage you will come, first of all, a stage is very difficult to define in children. The pediatricians are worried now. The only thing, when the parents are coming to the hospital, when the persistent cough is there, or patient start developing some breathing problem. Otherwise, normally what happens after temperature, you give paracetamol or some antihistaminic and patient get rid of that, a smaller baby. But after that, if the patient started persistent pneumonia, they need the oxygen saturation. I told you, even in adult or even in children or any age, There is no medicine. It is the body which has to form antibody and you will get out of it. But antibody formation will happen in children very fast. That is the only way we can wean. Until then, the doctor has to support and maintain the temperature low and give support of like antihistaminic or something, some diet and food. This is the way we can help them out.
Thank you so much, doctor.
Thank you. Thank you.
डॉक्टर साहब मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है डॉक्टर साहब.
जी जी बताइए.
हेलो.
हाँ हाँ जी बोला जाए.
डॉक्टर साहब मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है. डॉक्टर साहब ये एक मेरा फ्रेंड ने 24 जून को वैक्सीन लिया है और 2 से 3 दिन पहले से अब उसको बॉडी पेन, फीवर तो नहीं है, बॉडी पेन है. तो क्या एंटीबॉडी जनरेट हो रहे हैं या फिर कुछ और बात है?
24 जून को लिया था ना उन्होंने.
जी जी जी.
और अभी हुआ है स्टार्ट फीवर.
जी जी. फीवर नहीं है.
हाँ तो उनको बोल दीजिए. मैं थोड़ा फीवर नहीं है अभी, खाली मैलियस हो रहा है.
खाली मतलब बॉडी पेन है, बस इतना ही है और कुछ नहीं है.
ओके.
कफ नहीं है, स्मेल भी नहीं गया. और
फीवर वेट कीजिए. अभी कुछ भी मत कीजिए. अभी 2-3 दिन वेट कीजिए. हो सकता है नॉर्मल वायरस भी, नॉर्मल इन्फ्लुएंजा भी हो सकता है ना, मौसम चेंज कर रहा है तो अभी उसमें. लेकिन अगर 2-3 दिन में उसका बॉडी एक देखिए, इसमें एक बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट बात है, उसने एक वैक्सीन लिया हुआ है. हो सकता है उसको वायरस अभी आएगा, वैक्सीन उसका काम कर रहा है, उसके बॉडी को फाइट कर रहा है, तो कोरोना आके चला भी जाए उसको पता भी नहीं चले. ठीक है. बट उसको वो एक बहुत बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट काम उसको करना चाहिए कि अभी उसको अपने आप 2-3 दिन के लिए बहुत ही अपने को क्वारंटाइन रख ले या दूसरे को बचाए. ये नहीं कि सबको फैलाए, क्योंकि वही एसिम्प्टोमेटिक होगा जो सबको डैमेज करे. I will come within 10 minutes.
Yeah. Hello, doctor.
Yeah,
Doctor Ram here. Thank you so much for this good session, very informative session. I have one question that we came to know. We heard that in India, after first dose, some of the people they died. Actually, what precautions further we can take?
Died after COVID, na?
Yeah. No, after taking vaccine. After taking first dose, some cases reported in India that people died.
See, that's why I told you, there are important things which you have to understand. Most important thing, even after vaccination, people does not understand the role of hydration. Hydration means you have to keep yourself hydrated, means not only with the water, takes adequate amount of light food. Now you are exposed with something new in your body. At your age, normally we never have any vaccination after childhood. Now we have taken something inside and you are allowed to form an antibody. Those people who have some comorbid conditions like cardiac earlier, some diabetes, hypertensive, some have the thyroid, they definitely land up with this problem and they will have this aggravation of the symptoms. So that time, please, we came to know that there are some people died not because of the only COVID vaccination, because of the certain condition which has aggravated the situation. Because you have to form an antibody, liver is engaged with formation of antibody, and you are loading with some sort of medicine or some sort of diet or some alcohol or something, which is still under review. But you don't get scared of that. Don't worry. Just keep in mind, after vaccination, after infection, the only key role is your body. Let the body form an antibody. And for antibody formation, you need sufficient good amount of good food and hydration. That's all. And don't worry about the news and channel, because everyone has to take it. No one has to get rid of that. But if there is a comorbid condition, like you have a cardiac conditions, you have a immunocompromised, like there are certain patients who have cancer, those who are taking steroids, those who have rheumatism, those who have something like pregnant female, and even Dr. K.K. Agarwal, who was our colleague, who is a very good COVID warrior, he was giving lots of lectures every time their video, you must have seen, he was the most popular guy who was on video. Most of the time he's giving information. He lost his life post-COVID complication during COVID itself because he has taken vaccination, both the vaccine. He told that I have immunocompromised state. I am taking a steroid. I have a bronchial lung problem, and lung is very vulnerable. Once it will get involved, you will end up in ICU and you put in ventilator. There also, they are not giving any medication, plasma therapy, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, nothing will work. It is the body's immunity, antibody will form, and finally that will neutralize the virus. So that situation is a very critical situation. People are getting in that situation.
Yeah, doctor, one more thing. Actually, this fungus also in India, we heard that after this COVID
this
vaccine
is a
treatment.
very important thing which I just forget to tell you all. But my study, I have studied a lot, and I found that in India, people are very aggravated in doing many things. Suppose if the COVID will come, they will start doing haldi doodh. They will start drinking so much. When people end up in a Medanta hospital with whole skin was become yellow because he took more than 3 kg here turmeric. Some people start taking so much of a steam. There should be rationing of everything. If you too much steaming will done, your whole area become wet and the fungus may start growing. You are a patient of a steroid taking since long time. You are taking some steroid for some condition. You already are prone to develop candida infection, candida virus. But now mucormycosis is a very difficult because you're immunocompromised. Your system of defense has gone. The corona has entered into the nasal mucosa and it has destroyed the mucosa. Please, that time be very careful. Try to protect your nasal mucosa. Don't overload with any other medication. Don't go and move out and expose with something which is the fungal area is there or some dusty area is there. Be very careful. That's why sense of smell, sense of taste has gone. So probably these are the factors which aggravate the virus. The fungus to grow, and you cannot give antifungal immediately. You have to wait for that. You have to wait and check. Is it something which is coming up? There are other complications which I have to describe, but it is very short of time, so I am not able to. That like cardiac and kidney functions are getting deteriorated with a post-COVID patient.
Okay, doctor. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. So we can now close this one. We have to. You have my WhatsApp number. You can directly contact me and you can talk to me anytime. You are free to give an Indian Social Club. I will really thank to giving me an opportunity to come in contact with all of you. And Madam Embassy is a very kind to us, and for all Indian guys, we are here. Because there are many issues which has been handled by the government of India only. We are thanking to Indian government and Modi government because they brought Covaxin. Initially, there was no vaccine here. At that time, we were really facing the trouble. Even as a COVID warrior, as a doctor, as a aged senior consultant, I was most vulnerable to get infected. That time, I was really very feeling stressed. Whenever I go for operation, and a private sector, you cannot leave it as such. So thank everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for asking so many good questions. And if you're feeling happy, just give me feedback. I will be more interactive next time. So thank you all.
Thank you, doctor. I think just Mr. Asim wants to ask something.
Yeah, please.
Can you unmute?
Yeah, Asim ji, you are mute, na? Asim ji is mute.
Unmute करिए Asim भाई.
Asim भाई unmute, हाँ. बोलिए Asim भाई.
नहीं, डॉक्टर साहब मैंने कर लिया क्वेश्चन आपसे.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, doctor.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, doctor. Once again, I want to thank you and Madam Reema Jain for allotting your valuable time and nice suggestions, and with the detailed description for this. Thank you. And we will future also we want to have tie up with you to have some more interactions like this. Thank you, sir. And now from one to announcement I want to do from the club side. So we request everybody to become a members of Indian Social Club to join like this interactions, and so other things also we are doing, and some future events also are coming in lined up. So I don't want to take much time on this time. And now I want to give to Mr. Ravi Prabhakaran. He is our Joint Sports Secretary to give the vote of thanks. And from my side, it's bye now. Over to Ravi, please.
Thank you, Rajesh. Good afternoon to everyone. It gives me great pleasure in rendering the vote of thanks for this very nice open session. Firstly, I wish to thank His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq Al Said for his continued love and support for the expatriate community. I wish to thank Madam Reema Jain for taking time out on this weekend days and becoming our chief guest and gracing this program. Dr. Viprashi, as everybody in Sohar knows, is a great soul, always ready to help everyone. And I extend our thanks to Dr. Viprashi. Again, on a weekend, He's taken so much of time and effort to put together the presentation and explain each and every question patiently. I do understand that he'll be hard put for time to get back to his duties. So once again, thank you so much, Dr. Saab. It's been a pleasure always, and we always look up to you for all kinds of advice and help and support during these tough times.
Thank you so much.
Then I wish to thank the sponsors, event sponsors, Mazoon Diary, and media partner Muscat Daily, and our health sponsors, Aster Hospitals of Sohar. I thank you for all your kind support and look forward to having you associate with our programs in future too. I thank all the attendees to this program and the valuable questions that they have thrown up, which has helped us understand this problem and issues much better. And I hope everybody keeps safe and pray to God that all are safe. Thank you so much. Hope you all have a nice day and weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ravi. Fine. I think, Ravi, I think we can disconnect the link now.
The brain behind Kingmaker. आपने कुछ बोला है? Mr. Jha is here. I think we are sitting in Mr. Jha's residence. Our office is here. Everything is working from here only. He is the man who caught me. Actually, last week we were planning for that and motivated me to come over and have a discussion. I thank Mr. Jha from my heart. So in future also, I told my Aster group to other doctor to join and make a, even other hospital doctors also can communicate according to the social, Indian Social Club platform.
Doctor. मैंने डॉक्टर साहब हमारे पड़ोसी हैं और मैंने उनको करीबन रात को around 9 o'clock I requested him to give a presentation on some live medical issue, and it took 10 seconds for him to say yes. A very social person, and we have a lot of respect for him. Thank you, Dr. Saab.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, conclude.